Here's an opportunity to go out on Damon Point Beach at Ocean Shores. And so some people were asking on the videos, how do you get out there? And once you get out to the direction of the beach, which way do you go? So this is Marine View Drive, which comes from the Ocean Shores Boulevard and the downtown Ocean Shores area. So you come out on Ocean Shores Boulevard and then you also get on Marine View Drive and go east all the way to the point. There's lots of parking out here along the curve. There's a curve here that comes by a RV parking area, and there's a marina off to the left. But you come here, there's a little short asphalt access road which takes you right down to the beach. No vehicles allowed, a few porta potties. It's about maybe 75 yards, and the road comes to an end. It drops off right down on the beach. So this is the access to the Damon Point Beach area where I like to go agate hunting. So here we go. Once you get to the very end of the asphalt, it actually drops right down onto the beach, and the beach does continue on to the west towards some of the housing areas. But right here is the very beginning of Damon Point, where Damon Point takes off here and it begins to go out toward the south, toward the east, out into Grays Harbor. And so that's why it's such a good spot to pick up agates, because they seem to be in an area that seems to be sweeping all the water out from all the rivers out into the bay, and it's a good place to catch all the agates as they come on out. So it's recommended to go out there and look for agates. So this is about 8 o'clock in the morning here at Damon Point, and July 31st. And this is high tide right now. It's only about 6 feet high tide. It's not really high, but the high tides here don't really matter. If you want to come out and look for rocks or agates, you still have lots of gravel beds exposed. And so the beach is really wide, and so there's not really any problem with high tides and you being stranded on the beach. It's always good to be out here, and you can find lots of rocks no matter what the conditions. So come high tide or low tide, you can find gravel beds. Well, the gravel beds are really beautiful this morning. The ocean is really nice, and so just come along these gravel beds. I've only walked about maybe 100 feet, and nice little agate right here, glistening in the sunlight in the early morning. This is a nice place to find them. Well, here's another opportunity to kind of describe when you're walking along the beach and you're looking for these agates, how so simple they just stand out in the sunlight. So there's one just sitting there and glowing, and it's so translucent, and they're typically not as smooth as the surrounding other rocks, and so they're a little bit more jagged, and they have a lot of opaque or translucent qualities. So there you go. Here I'm out at the tip on the very end of Damon Point, and there's a lot of rock beds out here strewn, a lot more concentrated rock beds. And so if you're really looking for agates, you can find them all the way along the peninsula coming out here. But I tend to find most of my big ones or nice ones out here on the very end. This is a really nice carnelian. Look at that. Carnelian agate. You can see a little bit of the banding on the inside of it there. Very, very translucent. Look at that. Yeah, it's a nice piece. A very nice piece. I've made it all the way down to the point, Damon Point. I've come around the point. I'm actually on the east side of the actual peninsula, and I came along. There's a lot of rock beds over here. You just don't get as much wave action, but you do find agates over here, quite a few. I came upon this guy right here. It's a nice one sitting there, right there on the beach. Yeah. This is just a few minutes later. I've come down a little bit closer to the water right here where the birds are, and several agates right down here. There's another one right there. Some nice pieces just within a few moments. So as you're making your way down the backside of Damon Point, the peninsula out here, you'll see just all these rock beds. They're kind of in veins, in stripes, as they make their way down to the water down here. And so embedded all along in these rock beds down here, you'll see some of these agates like this. There's a nice, really big one there. Came right out of the rock, out of the sand. That's a nice one. And you know, you can see it a lot better. You take it down and rinse it off. Yeah, that's a nice looking one. Nice carnelian agate. And we're just embedded right there in all these little rock beds and sand beds. So now and then, not just agates do you find on the beach, but you also find some very interesting objects that are very difficult to find. This is petrified wood, beach tumbled on the beach in the surf. It's actually petrified wood. So I've only found 4 or 5 pieces of petrified wood actually on the Damon Point beach. It's really kind of a very, very obscure, difficult to find. So it's a unique specimen of rock, petrified wood, beach tumbled right here on Damon Point, Ocean Shores, Washington. Here's a particular interesting piece of agate. I wasn't sure if it was agate or not, but I saw it down here on the beach, and it's very, very pitted. It's because of the host rock it was eroded out of, but it's the harder part of the rock. There are other part of the host rock eroded away, but what's left of it is this pitted hard substance. But I held it up to the light, and it's definitely opaque, and so it's an agate. Hey, I'm heading in from a good hunt today, and I ran into William and his mom Karen, and they were also beachcombing. Did you have a really good day out here?
Had a fantastic day. The weather's beautiful, agates are plentiful.
Cool. You like to come out to Damon Point all the time?
Good exercise.
Yep.
You are so lucky you live here, is that right?
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Oh my goodness. So what did you find here today?
So I got a couple reds.
Yeah.
I got a couple what we call ocean shore diamonds.
Right.
Petrified wood.
There's a nice piece of petrified right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Some sea glass. And
pretty rocks.
and
some nice rocks.
And a couple pretty rocks.
Wow. How often do you come out here?
Not every day.
Just about every
Oh
single
my
day.
goodness. That's cool.
Winter
Hey,
and summer.
sounds like you love it out here.
Oh,
Absolutely.
we do.
Oh, great.
We have it any other way.
Cool. Well, thank you very much.
You have a good one.
So that was my day out here at Ocean Shores, Damon Point. I'm hiking back in to the parking lot. I hope you had a good time watching it. And there's a lot of agates out here. This is summertime, the last day of July, and it doesn't really matter. I actually like coming out here more so in the fall and the spring, especially like January, February. You find a lot of agates. Today was pretty good, but I love it in the winter time after big storms. That's when you really find some sweet pieces out here. So have a good time. Come on out to Ocean Shores, Damon Point, and look for agates.